The global scientific ecosystem operates on a core assumption. Progress requires borderless, open collaboration. But this architecture has created a specific geopolitical vulnerability. The July 6th Research Security Center newsline reveals a pivot in how allies approach this problem. Passivity is being replaced by an active defense posture intended to protect intellectual property. We categorize this week's intelligence into a three-pillar framework: cyber exploitation, sovereign retention, and information integrity. This transition places the administrative functions of the research lab at the center of a wider geopolitical competition. The first column, cyber exploitation, is defined by active state-sponsored efforts. Intelligence identifies UNK mass traction targeting physics departments at North American universities. The group focused on vulnerabilities in the RoundCube email platform, stealing credentials to access sensitive pre-commercial data. These methods are consistent across different regions. Taiwanese authorities recently charged 2 businessmen for their role in a separate cyber espionage campaign. This operation involves supplying local line messaging accounts to Beijing-linked actors. The accounts were used to impersonate journalists, allowing operators to build trust with academics before deploying malware disguised as secure communication software. These targets provide high strategic value. By infiltrating university networks, state actors can acquire the building blocks of dual-use technologies before they ever reach a classified or commercial stage. While the first pillar focuses on data protection, the second addresses sovereign retention, keeping the commercial output of research within domestic borders. The innovation ecosystem currently suffers from a leaky pipeline. Federally funded breakthroughs often flow to foreign entities during the spin-out phase because of a lack of domestic seed capital. Canada is attempting to patch this leak with a $630 million federal investment through NSERC. Simultaneously, the University of Toronto and McMaster University are anchoring a $40 million venture fund to keep life sciences discoveries domestic. This sovereign capital deployment serves as a defensive barricade, protecting strategic health and engineering technologies from foreign acquisition. Retention also requires physical infrastructure. This is evidenced by the 10-year deal for ESAR Aerospace to use Spaceport Nova Scotia, alongside the University of Victoria's launch of its second student-built satellite. Building domestic satellite testing and launch capacity reduces allied reliance on foreign providers for critical dual-use technology. In Europe, this protectionist shift is manifesting in policy. The European Commission is drafting rules to restrict foreign-linked companies from public procurement contracts in sectors like energy and telecommunications. Across allied nations, domestic infrastructure and targeted economic restrictions are becoming central components of the research security framework. The third pillar involves systemic risks. Updated Dutch national guidelines highlight an inherent tension. The security measures required to protect IP often disrupt the openness that facilitates scientific progress. China is addressing this tension through aggressive intellectual property hoarding. Policymakers there are moving to disincentivize researchers from publishing in international journals, favoring domestic channels to keep breakthroughs within the country. Generative AI presents an even more systemic risk, targeting the foundational integrity of the research itself. Recent reports detail how AI pollutes the research ecosystem with hallucinated sources and fabricated studies, which have already appeared in government reports across several continents. This corruption threatens the reliability of evidence-based policymaking in national defense and public health. This completed matrix shows the interconnected nature of modern research threats. A cyber vulnerability, a domestic funding gap, and a corrupted data set all provide different pathways for the same geopolitical risks to materialize. Addressing these challenges requires a posture that combines stringent cybersecurity with sovereign capital retention and rigorous integrity verification. Institutions across the globe must now operate under the assumption that their researchers and their pre-commercial discoveries are active targets. Evaluate your institutional protocols against this matrix to identify your own points of vulnerability. That concludes episode 54.